Howdy y'all, got the Bulldog on the channel. This is one of them where people will ask, you know, can you look at this and change this part? You know, somebody said this broke, so can you change that part? You said what broke? You know, timing belt, timing chain, something like that. Well, the issue with that is when it gets out of time, bad things happen. Very bad things. This one was cruising down the road and he said it just quit. Bang, quit. Well, he kind of knew just how bad it was. Bad. I'm not exactly sure what happened first, but I told him what I'd find when I pulled it apart. I said, we're not going to bother with anything else. We'll pull the valve cover first and look. Yeah. First thing, I found this broken guide, which I knew I was going to find that. The top guide on these things is always broken. Just always. And that thing is bent. So it snapped and hit hard. This chain was supposed to have been replaced when they put the motor in like a year and a half ago. Yeah. Down in here, if I can get the light shining, just right there we go. You see all the way down that chain? Do you see the guide there? No, you don't, because there's not one there. It's gone. It's disintegrated. It exploded, and bad things happened. You can see the chain just drooping between the cams there. It jumped out of time. Now, it jumped out of time, it's not going to run. But the problem is, these engines, for reasons, performance reasons mostly, it performs better when you have it tighter. When it's tighter, less can go wrong. Whenever the piston is all the way up at the top of the travel and the valve is all the way open, they don't meet very well. Conflicts arise. We had a conflict here. We had a big conflict here. Whenever that guide popped loose, one of these chains jumped and got off. It's probably jumped on the crank down there, which made everything out of time. Now, the result of that was whenever the cam lobe comes around and pushes down on the valve, the piston's all the way up at the top and it bends the valve. What happens next is the valve won't return up all the way because the bottom of it's bent and crooked. That means that all these followers here get loose. These followers here get loose. The first thing I saw when I pulled this thing out, see this thing here and this thing over here are pieces. I also found those pieces down inside the head. A little bit of looking. Showed me this. That is a roller. When I say roller cam, that's what they're kind of talking about. They're talking about a follower that has a roller on it. And this exploded. See? It did that because the valve bent and this got loose in there, so it was slapping at it instead of rolling. And that doesn't take impact very well. It takes pressure, but not impact. So bad things happened. Now I've got to call this customer and Give him the bad news that he's better off with a motor. I've got to pull the head. Every single valve is bent. Every one of them. There's 16 valves. They're probably $10, $12 a piece. And then you got $400 in machining. And then you got a couple $100 in chaining guides, which those are new. And they did that. So, well, supposedly they're new. I don't know. I really don't. Issue is, this thing's junk. Is it replaceable? Is it fixable? Yes, it is. But it's, honestly, junk. A lot of those costs I was telling you about, that's other people's costs. I don't make a dime off of that stuff. I did a head job here a while back, and the machine work and parts alone were more than I thought the whole job was going to cost. He paid it reluctantly, but he paid it. And I've done work for him since. He just left a bad taste in his mouth because it was already to the point that he didn't know whether or not he was going to spend that money on that car. What happened to him? Same thing. It had a timing belt rather than a timing chain. It broke, bent all the valves. They passed a law back in the 80s, said that if you had a belt, you can't have an interference engine. They found a way around it because very few of them are non-interference. That's what makes those jobs so tedious, and some people won't even do them, is because you can wreck a motor real easy. So what this is, I think, is a 1.4 EcoBoost, 1.8, something like that. I don't know. I mean, not an EcoBoost, stupid. Ecotec. Ecotec, see? Ecotec. General Motors. I'll give him the bad news. He's going to ask how much. He kind of will already know, maybe, because he did it 1.5 years ago. Or he could go back and throttle the guy that did it before. I don't know. But it's junk. It's wrecked. Oh well. Like, comment, subscribe, hit your little bell notification. Share it all around. We'll talk to you later.